Hello, hey, and I just wanted to show you guys on this a little bit of data entry how to do it. This is a little bit more detail oriented, and so it's very important that we get it accurate. So I have two spreadsheets here, and if you've watched the last one, then this will be similar. I have kind of my master Excel spreadsheet that has a lot of my information in there, and it's really just a conglomeration of a couple of lists, and so it's somewhat it's somewhat different because a couple lists came together and we did it differently in a couple different lists. And so I just wanted to point out a few things. Now, what we're working on here is the left side. This is what you'd see. I have a bunch of SKUs or item numbers. We need to put sizes, which would go here in the middle, and then also the price of that size. And so you can see the SKU, the sizes, and then the prices. So what we need to clarify first is how this list here on the right is done. So we have the same item numbers, a name, which we don't actually have to worry about the name. You could actually just completely hide that. But we have the item numbers, and then we have sizes and prices. Now sometimes, like so for example here, KW 889 has the sizes and prices listed horizontally. So 17 by 11 is $14, 25 by 16 is $20, and 33 by 21 is $26. That's all associated with this item number here. But we have started to switch it so that it's a little bit easier, whereas so like LO007 is 18 by 11 and that size is $16, and the same LO007 is 24 by 14, that's $19. And so you can see the same item number is just listed vertically instead of horizontally. So that's important to understand so that you can do it properly. It doesn't matter whether it's vertically like this LO007 or if it's horizontal like these ones up here. So now generally every item is going to have 2 or 3 sizes. You can see these ones here, they only have 2 sizes because there's nothing over here. These have 3. Some of them may have 4, some of them may have 1. You can see here's one that has 4. And so anyhow, so it's important to understand that because every item number should have every size available moved over to this new list. So that's very important. The other thing is the price. It is important to get the price right, obviously. But the price of these listed over here are the prices of the particular size. However, for example, if we were to use this KW8, well, let's go find this BC143. So we'll just click Control Find BC143. And I'm just going to close that. So BC143 has, and this is listed horizontally. So 9 by 5 is $6. So the way that this is going to be done is and there's a couple ways to do this. It is helpful if you, and there's probably a lot of ways to do this. I'm not a real big Excel genius, and so this BC143 is the first one, and so it's 9 by 5. Now the important thing about size is we want to list the smallest on the top, the next biggest, and then the next biggest sequentially down, horizontal or vertically, excuse me. And so and that's one thing to know. On this new list, everything is going to be vertically, so very important. Okay, so 9 by 5 is the first one, and we need to put 9 colon space the X and then 5 colon, or excuse me, not colon, quotation marks, which represent inch. And so 9 inches by 5 inches, and it's very important to list it the way that it is, so it's not 5 by 9, it's just as it's listed, 9 by 5, 17 by 9. Important the order that those go in as well. So these ones don't have quotation marks in them, but we do need to add those to it. So 9 by 5. Now that price you notice over here is 0. So the smallest size is always going to be 0. The next size, so 17 inches, 17 by 9, is $14. So now this is where this is very important, and it does take a little bit of thinking. The smallest size is $6, so the next size, the price of it is the increase. So if this one is $6, this one here would be $8 because it is $8 higher than the other one. So you take 14 minus 6, and that's how you get the price for that one. So this other one here, the 28 by 15, is $20. So this is not 20 minus 14, it's always back to the base size, which is $6. So it's 20 minus 6, which would be $14. So we do be done just like that. So, and there's a space here, and that's okay. You just go on to the next one. So Control F, BC 203. Make sure, now all these items are in here, but I have this field selected, so you need to make sure that you don't have anything selected. So BC 203 is 6 by 7 is the smallest size, so I'm going to come here. So this is the item number here. The size, the first size, the smallest size, and then that price is going to be 0. So that's 6 inches by 7 inches, which is 0. I don't need to put the 6 in there. But then the next size is 10 inches by 11 inches. And that size is $12. So the first size was $6. That means that the increase is $6 on this one. So 15 by 16 is 16, so there's a $10 increase. Alright, does that make sense? So the increase is always off of the base size, the smallest size. So this would be $6 and this one would be $10. So it takes a little bit of math, and it is very important that we get that right. You need to use a calculator, I guess use a calculator, but we need to make sure that that's right. So on these here, and then this has only got 3 sizes. So there shouldn't be any designs that have any more than 4 sizes. And so I've left room for 4 sizes on each design, even though some designs may have 2 sizes. So if it has 2 sizes, you would, fill in your size here. Obviously that's not a real size, and your size here, and then you would just skip those 2. But it needs the size that's associated with this item needs to be the first one right next to it. So that you would put another size there, whatever size that would be. But anyhow, those are not real sizes. But they do need to. So if there's only 3 sizes, it's only going to take the first 3 rows. If there's only 2 sizes, it's only going to take the first 2 rows, and then you skip down to each item number. So that's kind of the important things. The important things is just to find these over here. Now, if you do work with one that is done like these here, so let's just say that this was BC 204. You could highlight just those 2, copy them, and paste them, although you would need to put in your quotation marks. So some you'll be able to copy and paste, but others you may not be able to. And then you would still need to figure out the size. So this particular one, the smallest one is $12. The next size up is $18, so $6 difference. So I would put $6 here. And then I would skip down to the next one, and so I could highlight these and paste them, but just make sure quotation marks in there. So it should be, the accurate way would be the first measurement, which is 11 inches on this one, a space between the X, and then the X, and then another space, and then the number, and then the quotation mark. So there should be spaces in between the times sign, I guess, or the by sign. But anyhow, that should go over most of this. I apologize for being long, but it is very important that we do this accurately. It does take a little bit more thinking. This isn't as the other one where we would just copy and paste so much. We still can copy and paste in some circumstances, but not every circumstance. And so it's important that we take whatever information is on this right spreadsheet and put it correctly onto this left spreadsheet. And do remember your spaces. These need to correlate with the skew. So there's the skew, the first size, price is 0. Always the first price is 0. I think I already mentioned that, but that's always first price is 0. That's why you always have, or already have all the zeros here. So so that we can just do that. But then you would just kind of go down through the rest of them and add the prices. So this 18 by 5 is price. It would be the increase there. The 29 by 8 would be the increase here. So that's very important that those are all in that order. Otherwise, it doesn't work properly. So hopefully that explains it. If there is any other questions, feel free to ask me if this is something you're going to do. We do want to make sure it's done right. I don't want you to spend a bunch of time doing something and doing it wrong. So definitely clarify with me to make sure that it's being done properly, so that we don't waste any time on completing this. So these are in 250 items per spreadsheet. I figure that each one should take you just over a little bit of a minute to do one. I think in some cases that's probably an overestimate, but I've kind of estimated that it would take just a little bit over a minute, and so it's $50 for each spreadsheet for 250 of them. And as fast as you can do it, you can do as many as you want until they run out. Alright, hopefully that helps. Thanks, guys.